Well, hello. This is Tessa Jones coming to you with another inspirational message along with a biblical passage. And before I start, for those of you who are new to the channel, this is Life After Divorce. This segment will be on He Asked. That's what it's called. One more thing, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Come along this journey with me as I unpack my experiences and life lessons in marriage and after divorce. Okay, so now we're going to jump right in. So the passage presented here, I'm going to read the passage. No, before I read it, this is regarding David being anointed as king. Prior to him being anointed, there was Saul, and Saul had fallen out of favor with God. So the prophet at the time, Samuel, God told Samuel, okay, I want you to go and I want you to anoint another king from the Bethlehemites, from Jesse's sons. So Samuel went through, Jesse had, I can't remember how many sons, but you can go and look that up. And then he went through all the sons and he says, nope, that's not it. And God said, there's another one. And at the moment, he was still looking like, wondering what's going on. God was like, man looks on the outer appearance, but I look at the heart. So anywho, I'm going to just jump right in. So it says, Jesse sent and brought him David, who had a healthy reddish complexion, beautiful eyes, and was fine looking. The Lord said to Samuel, arise, anoint him. This is he. And that comes from 1 Samuel 16 and 12. And although it's talking about his appearance and everything, if you want to read and learn about David, God even says further down that he was a man after his own heart. So God was looking at David's heart and his love for him. So anyhow, and I read that out of the Amplified. That was, 1 Samuel 16 and 12. All right. So now I have always known and always desired to be a wife from a young age. And I suspect many of you have known also. And I would like to say, if you have had a desire for marriage, God has put that in you. There are people out there, who do not have any interest in marriage. And now, hold on, I'm not speaking about those who gave up because of failed relationships or unhealed trauma, unforgiveness. I'm not even speaking about those who just want to play the field or have a live-in boyfriend or girlfriend for the rest of their lives. But for those people who have been given the gift of singleness, God has truly equipped them for that walk. But for those of us who have, a desire, did not consult God on our decisions, found that we may have had made decisions out of our insecurities, like myself, and I'll come back to my experience. Some may have jumped into marriages quickly to escape abusive parents. Some of us truly may have loved that person, but you just may not have had a real understanding what it meant to be a wife or what it meant to be a husband, along with knowing what it took to make a marriage work. And then, we dove into those marriages, only see them come to an end. So back to my experience, my first marriage, I was like 2 years shy out of my teens. So I was like 21. I just turned 21. And I was still grappling with self-esteem issues, insecurities. And honestly, I would say to myself, who would want to marry someone like me? I didn't feel I measured up, but that desire to be a wife, it remained. I also believed at that time that God didn't want me to be married. I don't know where I got that from, but that just kind of stuck in my head for many years. So, my first husband, we met, we had a lot in common. We even attended university together for a semester, and I thought I saw a future with him. We both had our own struggles, and for the most part, we got along pretty well. Unfortunately, in less than 6 months, the marriage had ended. And in hindsight, we both knew we were not ready for marriage. And my reason for saying yes was he asked me. And honestly, I didn't think anyone else would. And that's why I said yes. Here's where we, and I do this all the time. Here's what we must examine ourselves. What are our motives in going into our marriages? Did we go into them for the right reasons? As I said before, I had this belief of not being worthy and that God didn't want me to be married. And many years later, as I began to study about marriage and a wife and a husband's role, God allowed me to see He is the one who gives the desire for marriage. And not only was I enough, I was anointed for that position as wife. Even if others may have not seen us in that way, God did. And just as Samuel didn't notice David until God showed him this is who he wanted to appoint king, so it is for us. So if you still have a desire for marriage, don't feel shame about your past failed marriages. You are enough. Go to God. Let Him heal you. Let Him show you the areas where you need to work on. And it doesn't matter your past. God will anoint you for this position as husband or wife. Since He gives us the desire, why don't we invite Him in when we are considering another relationship, marriage? Since God is all-knowing and seeing and knows the motives of our hearts, I think we would have a higher chance of success when we put God first. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this session and that you can take away a few nuggets from my sharing. Do ponder on what was said, get into the scripture, study, let God minister to you. Let Him heal. Let Him show you the things where you can improve on, as I have done. And as my hope always, that we can all become what? Healthy and whole individuals, so that what? Our next relationship we go in will be our last, until death do us part, in a good way. Take care until next time.